If you love casseroles as much as I do, you will love today's video. I am sharing with you 8 casserole recipes. They are all super delicious and really easy as well. So if you're new to my channel, make sure you click subscribe. I love casseroles, crock pot recipes, anything that is quick and easy to get food on the table for my family. So make sure you subscribe to my channel if you're new. Let me show you these 8 casserole recipes. This is going to be a ground turkey, zucchini, a tomato casserole. It is really good. I use ground turkey. You can definitely use ground beef if you'd like. So I already have it cooked right now. I have my zucchini that I have chopped up into some small pieces, a can of Rotel, and I use the one that has diced green chilies because I just love diced green chilies. So I'm going to spread that out over the ground turkey and zucchini. I am going to add now a can of tomato sauce. This is really such a good and such an easy casserole. I really love this one. I'm adding on some shredded mozzarella on top. Super delicious. Casseroles just have to have cheese on top, in my opinion, to make them a real true casserole. So I'm going to bake this in the oven at 350 for 30 to 40 minutes. This will be all ready to go. I just love casseroles because you can make them earlier in the day if you'd like, and then cook them for dinner time. I'm going to serve this one with a side of rice, and then we do a lot of side salads as well, and it's ready to go. So I'm going to do a chicken casserole. I have poached chicken. I have just frozen broccoli and cauliflower, and I'm also going to use frozen peas and carrots, so lots of veggies in this one. I'm going to break up all these peas and carrots so they're not in too big of clumps. I'm going to make the sauce for the casserole. I have half a cup of sour cream, I have a can of cream of chicken soup, and I have a half a cup of milk as well. I will put the recipe for all of these in the description box, so if you want to make these, which you will, they are all very delicious, check out the recipes in the description box. So I am going to, after that's all mixed up, I will add this on top of my chicken and veggies. And I love casseroles because you have the protein and you have veggies all in one dish, just kind of all mixed together. So really, cleanup is pretty easy on these because you just have one big casserole dish. I definitely have the prep bowls as well, but this makes cleanup a little bit easier when you're making a casserole all in one pan. So I'm going to add on top of this some stovetop stuffing mix, which is the time of year for stovetop stuffing. I have been using it a ton this fall, and Thanksgiving is one of my favorite holidays, and stuffing is one of my favorite foods for Thanksgiving. So I have that mixed up with some water. I'm going to add it on top of my casserole, and this just makes it so good with this on top. You can substitute it with some crushed Ritz crackers as well if you don't have any stuffing. That is always a huge hit on top of this type of casserole. So I'm going to cover this. I'm going to bake it in the oven at 350 for about 45 minutes, and it is delicious. I'm going to do a green bean chicken casserole. This is just like your Thanksgiving green bean casserole with the fried onions on top, but it has chicken in it, so this makes a really wonderful dinner. So I have 2 chicken breasts that are already cooked. You can use rotisserie chicken. I really love poached chicken, so I use that a lot in casseroles. So I have my canned green beans, makes it super easy. So you can definitely use fresh green beans as well, as long as they are cooked first, because they won't cook enough in this casserole. I'm going to do 2 cans of cream of mushroom, and it's going to make this so nice and creamy and delicious. Casseroles are just so wonderful with their creamy soups. I'm going to add in some mozzarella cheese on top. I'm going to bake this in the oven at 350 for about 35 to 40 minutes. It's going to cook all the way through and be amazing. Like I said, I just love green bean casserole, and these French fried onions are really what makes it such a hit. There is so much flavor in these, and they're just perfect on top of this casserole. Such a great meal. I hope that you love this one. It is definitely one of my favorites. So you can serve this one. You can serve it with a side of mashed potatoes. It's delicious. We do a lot of side salads, so this one we just absolutely love. So I'm going to be doing another chicken casserole after this one, and this is a chicken bacon ranch casserole. I really love anything with bacon, love anything with ranch, and chicken is kind of our go-to protein. So I have my poached chicken. I did 3 chicken breasts this time. I have cream cheese, cheddar cheese, broccoli, mayonnaise, and sour cream. So I have my cream cheese in the bowl. I used half of the brick of cream cheese. I have my mayonnaise, my sour cream. Just gonna mix all of these together. I'm gonna add in my ranch seasoning, and I do a tablespoon of this seasoning mix because this bag kind of has quite a bit, or this little pouch has quite a bit of seasoning in it. So I'm just going to use 1 teaspoon out of it. And this sauce is so good. Like I said, anything with kind of ranch flavoring is always a huge hit. Definitely super good. And the combination of ranch with bacon and broccoli and chicken, just definitely you can't go wrong. So I'm adding in my poached chicken. And like I mentioned before, you can use rotisserie chicken or any kind of cooked chicken for these. I have my cooked broccoli. I have my bacon that I diced up into some smaller pieces, and bacon is so good. I love it on sandwiches and salads and everything, and breakfast, of course. It's great on breakfast, but it's great in so many other things as well. So I'm going to add the sauce onto the top of the casserole and just kind of spread it out a bit so it gets a little bit mixed around, and then this will be ready for some cheese on top, ready to be popped into the oven and ready to go. So you can add your cheddar cheese, bake this at 350 for 35 to 40 minutes, ready to go, and so super delicious. I love to serve this one with a side of rice, a lot of my casseroles with a side of rice. So this is going to be a chicken enchilada casserole, but a low carb version. I'm not going to use any tortillas or noodles or anything like that. I'm going to just do some chicken and then some a really delicious sauce that gives this so much flavor. So I have heavy whipping cream. I have diced green chilies. I just love diced green chilies. So this is really, really good. I have some chili powder, ground cumin, and onion powder. And like I mentioned earlier, I will have the recipe for these in the description box, and you can go check those out if you want to make these and you want the exact ingredients and measurements. So that will be in the description box. This one is really good, and like I mentioned, it's going to be low carb, so it's going to be really, really good and healthy if you are trying to not eat super heavy around the holidays, because there's so many functions where we're definitely indulging quite a bit. It's nice to have a nice healthy casserole for dinner instead of something super heavy, and you can just have a nice healthy night for dinner. I also love casseroles for meal prepping because they make such a big serving, and I can prep this out into portions for lunches. And casseroles are big, so I eat my lunches as well, are usually my leftovers from what we're having for dinner. So casseroles are so great because we almost always have leftovers unless we're serving a bigger group than our normal family. So I can portion out the leftovers into my meal prep containers, and then lunch is ready to go for the next couple days, which is definitely my favorite. I love having things portioned out. Portion control is a big thing for me. I just love having everything portioned out so that I do not overeat. So I love prepping food and portion it out right away so that I know I'm having the correct amount of portion and not overeating. So that's what I love about casseroles, making a big, huge batch. So this is hands down my favorite casserole. This is going to be chicken divan, and I use mayonnaise, and I do a can of cream of chicken and a can of cream of mushroom. You can do 2 cans of cream of chicken or 2 cans of cream of mushroom, and then I add in some curry powder, which gives this such a wonderful flavor. This, like I said, is hands down is my favorite casserole. I make it all the time. I grew up with my mom making it all the time, so it is just, it's a hit. It's a family staple. So I have my poached chicken, I have my cooked broccoli, and you definitely don't want to overcook the broccoli in any of these casseroles because you don't want it to get too soggy. It will cook a little bit more in the casserole, but not a lot. So you just want to make sure you don't overcook the broccoli before adding it in. I'm going to add the sauce on top of this broccoli and chicken. And like I said, this sauce is amazing. I love it. You can do a little bit less curry powder if you'd like, or a little bit more if you really like that curry flavor. But this sauce is so, so good. So I'm going to add on some shredded cheddar cheese. Like I mentioned, it's not a casserole unless it is topped with some cheese. Not true, but I like to say that because all casseroles that I love have cheese. I just love cheese. I'm a big fan. So once the cheese is on top, I have some corn flakes. I have them in my bag so I can crush them up. But I have 2 cups of corn flakes, and I'm going to add in some melted butter. And that just makes these just a little bit richer and a little bit crunchier also once they're baked in the oven. So I'm going to mix that butter around, shake it up, and I'm going to crush up these corn flakes a bit in my bag. So once they are all crushed up, I'm going to put them on top of my casserole. And you can use, I've seen Ritz crackers used for this as well, which would be good. I am just a huge fan of these cornflakes, so I have not personally tried the Ritz cracker ones, or Ritz crackers chopped up on these, but I would imagine it would taste good. I will definitely have to give it a try. I'm going to bake this in the oven, 350 for 45 minutes. So I'm going to be doing a Dorito casserole for this one. I have my ground beef that I'm just going to brown up in my pan. You can use ground turkey as well, which I love ground turkey, but this one I just love ground beef in it. So I have it all browned. I'm going to just remove any grease from this, and I'm just going to kind of move my ground beef to the side and mop up this grease with a paper towel and get all that grease out of here because we don't want to have that into our casserole. So just going to get rid of that grease. I'm going to add in some chopped onion. I'm going to add in some taco seasoning as well. And this taco meat mixture is so, so good with Doritos on top of the casserole. I have some diced tomatoes and of course with diced green chilies. And I have some black beans. I just love anything kind of Tex-Mex flavors, anything Southwest. So I'm going to add some corn as well. So this is just really great with all kind of the Tex-Mex Southwest flavors. Going to give this a good mix all of these things together, the corn, the beans, the ground beef, the Rotel tomatoes. Just give it all a real good mix. I'm going to add in a half a cup of shredded cheese. I have a Fiesta blend, and I'm adding in a cup of sour cream to make this nice and creamy. So I'm just going to give this a little stir, let the cheese melt a little bit. The sour cream will melt a bit as well and be nice and creamy with all of these awesome ingredients. This one I can definitely have on repeat. It's a huge hit with my family. And I'm going to add all this mixture into my casserole dish. Once I do that, I'm going to top with a little bit more cheese. You don't have to use a lot because there's a little bit of cheese inside as well. And I think this one's such a huge hit because it has Doritos on top. My family loves Doritos. We don't buy them very often, but I had a couple of these little lunch size ones left over from a party we had we got these for the kids to have with their dinners. And so I'm just going to crush these up and put them on top, and this makes it so good with this casserole. So I'm going to bake this in the oven, 350 for about 30 to 40 minutes. So this next casserole, I have rotisserie chicken, and it's going to be a chicken lasagna with these oven-ready lasagna noodles. These are so convenient and easy. I have cream of mushroom, I have diced pimentos, I have some sliced olives, and this is just, it's easy. It's really, really good. This is a recipe that my mom used to make when I was growing up, and so I love it. And I love it with rotisserie chicken, but also any kind of cooked chicken. Onion, sour cream, Parmesan cheese as well. So I'm going to add all of this into I'm going to add all these sauces into my bowl. I have my cream of mushroom and the sour cream, onion, cheese, pimento, olives, And this sauce is just really good. I think the Parmesan cheese makes it really, really great. So just a super good sauce for this. I'm going to mix all of these ingredients into my bowl. I will have the recipe for this in the description box, of course, so that you have the measurements to go along if you want to make this. But really easy, huge, huge hit. You do not have to use the oven-ready noodles. If you want to make your own noodles, you definitely can. I just like the oven ready because if you've been around my channel, you know how much I love easy recipes. So keeping it easy is the way to go for me. And like I mentioned earlier, I love making these casseroles ahead of time, earlier in the day or on the weekend, and then putting them in the oven when we're ready for dinner. So I can have all of this prepped and ready to go. I can have all of my prep dishes all done, and then we can have dinner later in the day at night, and then all I have left to clean is the casserole dish. So I just love that about casseroles. It's just easy for me. And they're so good. They're always nice and creamy and just such a yummy, yummy food. And it's perfect in the wintertime when the weather is colder. Casseroles are just a really good comfort food for sure. So I love making casseroles in the winter. It is super cold outside, so these casseroles are just really yummy and they're a huge hit. So I'm going to spray my baking dish. I'm going to add in my oven ready noodles, and like I said, you can use regular noodles, just to cook them beforehand. So I just think these are just so convenient. They cook with the sauce, so definitely very, very easy. So I'm going to add a layer of the chicken mixture. I'm going to spread it out a bit, and then I will continue layering the chicken and the noodles and the cheese until I am out of the mixture. I'm going to bake this all in the oven when it's ready at 350 for 40 minutes, and it is a really, really delicious casserole. If you're a big casserole fan like I am, let me know in the comments what your favorite casserole is. Maybe it's something I haven't tried and that I would love to try. So leave me a comment and let me know what your favorite casserole dish is. And I will just have to make it for sure because I love casseroles. So I hope that you enjoyed these casserole recipes. They are all easy. As you know, my recipes are all very easy and they're all so good. So I loved sharing these with you. Hope that you enjoyed them. Hope you're having a really great winter and holiday season. There's so much going on right now. So definitely lots of cooking and entertaining. And so these casseroles are great for entertaining as well, because you can make a big serving if you're having some people over to celebrate the holidays. If you're new to my channel, make sure you click subscribe and leave me a comment if you have any questions at all. Like I said, the recipes for these will be in the description box. Hope you have a really great rest of your day, and I will see you next time.